All right, it looks like we are connected. Hey guys, hey. Y'all know I don't get on here live much, but I hope the BFM family is in here. Those of you who have not been following me, I am Jesse, the actual host of BFM Breakdown. I want y'all to know I am a real person. I know I don't get on Substack Live a lot, so I'm just on here today to meet some of my supporters, some of my subscribers, some of the BFM fam. So how you doing, Kimmy? How you doing, Floyd? How you doing, Cheryl? I appreciate you guys dropping in. Pop Pirates, KB. Look at my democracy fighters up in here. Rand Thomas. Look at you amazing individuals in here. See, look, this is what America looks like. Okay, look at the diversity I'm getting up in this live just in a few seconds. Y'all, so share this live. If you can share it, I would appreciate if you share it. This is just a beck and call for us out here in California. You know what we're up against with this governor race, and you know we only got a couple weeks left. So we're trying to get the word out. I put together a nice article for everybody. If you have not seen the article, I just dropped it. It is on the actual candidates that are running in the gubernatorial race right now out here in California. And listen, we got to get out there, y'all. We got to get out there. We got to get the word out as much as possible. We see what's happening in government right now. We see who's under attack. And California is one of the biggest states with that could make the biggest impact on this. And what we cannot have is two Republicans excelling to November. Okay. We cannot have that. So I wanted everyone to get an understanding of these candidates, what they're representing, and give you an idea on who to vote for. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I've listed who I feel is the most ready for this time, in my personal opinion. Um, but of course, your vote is yours. Okay. Always remember, no one should ever force you to vote for anybody that you don't want to vote for. Your vote is your choice. But I feel like there are some candidates that actually want to help the people, that actually want to look out for the Latino community, for the Black community, for the white community, and for the business community out here. There is a certain obligation I feel that corporations should have, especially when it comes to homelessness right now. In California, we have an issue. Okay, we have a serious issue out here with homelessness. And it's surging dramatically. I mean, housing cost out here has risen dramatically. A lot of people who want to live in California can't live in California now. A lot of people who used to work downtown can't work downtown now. I mean, the expense of living in California now is getting out of hand. And we need a governor that is going to fight that, that is going to prevent that, that is going to deal with the problem. We need to look into taxing corporations. We need to look into that. We need someone who's bold enough to do that. We need someone who has a vision for the homeless community, who has a vision for education, who has a vision for our healthcare out here. I know Medicare is a big thing out here in California. So we need a governor that's going to look into Medicare and see how they can expand it to Californians and how they can make it more affordable for Californians. You know, we need this type of governor in office. So I listed everybody who you can vote for. I'm gonna tell you right now, these Republicans, they're a huge no. If anything, you can vote for any one of the Democrats. They all ain't great on either end, but I think some of them got the ability to make California a better place for all of us and not some of us. So please, guys, um, Blonde Legally, she said, I'm not a California voter. I live in Georgia and we have our own issues. I'm in the 13th district. Where David Scott passed away, and shenanigans are going on in the state house, the Republican state house. So folks are confused out here too. I applaud you for speaking and giving opinions. People want that. Blonde Legally, listen, I am sorry that you guys are dealing with that. It is so chaotic right now in the political climate. And I'll look into this 13th district situation in Georgia for you. and try to report on that situation, because that is not good either. And I know Georgia would be under attack because just like Tennessee, Memphis, Atlanta is like Memphis is to Tennessee. Atlanta is to Georgia. So they're looking at redistrict in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Um, all the black, predominantly held cities, I feel as though that is their goal, is to divide and dilute power in those regions because they know that their policies are highly unpopular. Um, and I don't really think that it's going to work. I think what they think, just like they thought going into Iran was a good idea and that they was just going to bully them out of their resources and it wound up backfiring on the US. And now we're sitting here with high gas prices and all types of grocery prices and high tariff costs. Like, just because he had that type of plan and he doesn't know anything about warfare, now we're in a position we are. It's the same thing with voting. These people don't have a plan. The only thing that they're looking forward to is the same people that they thought voted for him the first time to come out and vote for him again. And I got news for you. A lot of those voters that he had going the first time around to get him in office right now are not standing with him right now. So even though he's trying to finagle his way in these elections and change the maps and have his candidates win and dilute power, even if black people say, listen, we're going to go ahead and vote for our candidate anyway, that is going to boost that candidate in that particular region anyway. You know what I'm saying? So all they're going to do is add to the minority vote, the minority white vote, or whatever that's in that particular uh, section, and it's going to make their vote a lot stronger. And the ones that's going to vote Republican may not even vote Republican this time because of the way what they're dealing with in their city. So there's no guarantee that redrawing these maps is going to change people's decisions. It's just giving them more of a edge in winning possibly in November. But predictions are saying that with him sitting at 30% in the polls, it's highly unlikely that any Republicans that are running with his ideologies is going to get voted for. I mean, we had 8 Democrats running out here. You know what I'm saying? We had 8. Well, that's the biggest gubernatorial race I think we've had since I've been here. And out of those 8 candidates, only 2 will succeed to November, and it looks like it's going to be 2 Democrats. So we thought it was going to be Republicans, but right now, Democrats are polling better than Republicans, and it was only 2 of them. So that goes to show you that people's mind is shifted away from what this operation that Trump has going on. No matter what he's trying to do or set up to try to, the people are focused on themselves right now. Now, we don't have the power individually, but collectively, we are speaking by our vote. This is the reason why they feel it's so important to attack, especially the black vote, because 80 to 90% of us vote Democratic. We do it ignorantly because we're not fully versed on that, including myself. I'm still learning. Trump has challenged me to learn more about the actual government and things that's going on because I normally had passed that off after I graduated. I went to school for criminal justice and government shit. And after I started my career in entertainment, I no longer needed that. So now I'm trying to draw back to the basics because I'm seeing things happen that I'm like, wait, I paid for a degree that is now being violated. That's the thing that personally at first was very personal to me, is that I felt like he was spitting on something that so many people have been taught over the years. We have been taught that we had these certain laws and government strongholds that could not be broken. Things that would never take us back. We were told this. This was our promise from me being a child on up. And to kind of see somebody come in who has no type of connection to the people, who does not understand the actual experience of going to a grocery store or having to go from paycheck to paycheck to actually feel confident and taking the little bit that those people have away from them and making life even harder because you feel as though they don't deserve it. Because these people don't see things your way in dollar signs. How are they gonna see things in dollar signs when they can barely survive? She said, "I'm glued to the Joy Ann Reid, but Blind Legally, keep doing that. Support Joy Ann Reid. I love her. She does great reporting over there, Don Lemon. It's a lot of good reporters on here, y'all. A lot of good people on here fighting the good fight, putting their voice out there, and changing democracy one thing at a time. I appreciate the little when I got on here, I had absolutely no Substack followers. I had no clue if I would grow on this platform. I had no clue if I would have a community on this platform, but all I knew was I wanted to spread as much positivity and knowledge as I could to help the movement. And I wanna say in probably my first month or so, I was at about 6,000 followers. I kinda blew up kinda quick. Now I haven't been able to dedicate as much time to Substack because I got 3 other platforms, and I'm doing this all by myself. So it's very tedious on my day and stuff like that, but I still make it my business to come here, and make sure that I'm trying to give you guys the best information I can when things pop up. So all the support that you guys, my paid subscribers, I love you. Thank you so much. Y'all have no idea. That little $5, listen, that little $5 helps me. It helps pay for the breakdowns that I need. It helps pay for all of the subscriptions that I have. Cause I have to pay for a lot of subscriptions because I got to get news from all different sources. You know what I'm saying? So, like, every little bit that you guys give me, it just definitely helps, and I appreciate everything. I know some of you guys, y'all just don't have it. We squeeze, you know what I'm saying? We just don't have it, okay? But, whatever little bit I be making, you see I'm out here doing Uber, so whatever extra money I make, I put that towards my resources to try to keep it going because I feel like it's important, especially with them stripping, diluting black voting power and making us look like the enemy each and every day when people know who black people are. Okay. I have confidence that my white allies and colleagues, the people that I met, are kind hearted and actually are not the people that I see in the White House. I have sense enough to know that every white person that I come across does not think like a racist. But what one image that Trump wants people to be scared of is white people for that specific reason. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I say this is not only a black person's fight. This is a fight for the morals and ethics of America because white people now are being reflected around the world as villains. You know what I'm saying? He's got Asian people scared of white people. He's got Middle Easterns scared of white people. He's got Africans, always had Africans scared of white people. And the little bit of Americans, I just saw a video of a little black girl who was scared to see a female police officer, like literally trembling, scared to death that seeing a white female police officer. And that's where we are in America. So now we have the black community who's terrified, mind you, because why wouldn't we be? Our ancestors endured some of the worst atrocities known to humankind. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in America think that this is just some sort of fairy tale or that we're being victim, like we're playing a victim. No. When we read about those stories and see some of those images, they are frightening. They're frightening for a number of reasons because you wonder what type of human being could actually pull some sadistic, ungodly stuff off like this and actually go to sleep the next day. I mean, you're killing babies. You're drowning them. You're ripping the skin off and making furniture. I mean, you if you think of some of the things that they've done, you'll understand why black people are terrified. Okay? We've never done anything like this to anybody in any race. At least here in America, you don't see black people boiling white people in pans. You don't see us writing, writing a bunch of books on how we could destroy the white community in America. You don't see us writing anything that is even geared toward getting back at white people in a negative way. The only have been fighting for 400 years is the ability to be seen as human, to be considered equal, to be respected as a human being. You want to know why a lot of the corruption is in the hood and in these impoverished areas? Is because the people design the hood not to survive. You know what I'm saying? The hood is the place where they can take ideas and make money off of them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a pot of gold. And you never have to worry about these people ever doing anything in the hood significant because you control all the resources. So in order for them to get a yes, in order for them to succeed, they have to go through your system. You got their fathers in prison, and you got their mothers on welfare. So you're controlling their financial resources, you're controlling the community, whatever type of resources that community gets, and then you're determining their future by giving them whatever opportunities you feel they're entitled to. So you got to think of black thinking differently. Like we have to think of all of those things. Like when we're in our communities. Well, who's taking care of the trash? You go in the hood, you see trash all over the place. All on the streets. You go to the suburbs, clean as a whistle. You go to those schools, squeaky clean. Teachers look prestige, like good school lunch. They can order stuff online. They got iPads and the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? They got the whole school hooked up. You go to black communities, they barely got books. This is the inequality we want to address because it makes no sense to be in America and be in schools when we got billions of dollars. As you can see in the White House, we got billions of dollars being tossed around every single day. He's about to sue the IRS. He about to sue the IRS for $1.7 billion of taxpayer money that he can hand to racist allies. Welcome in, Shay Howe. Welcome, welcome. This is what he's about to do, right? $1.7 billion he's about to sue the IRS for grievances for his racist friends. Our taxpayer dollars. How disrespectful is that? These people committed the insurrection, and they're now being rewarded by the president of the United States. When our actual what do you call it? A constitution literally talks about it. And then you let this liar lie and say that he didn't do anything. So he won't be held accountable. The rapist, the pedophile, this person who literally wouldn't show anybody his tax returns. Like and everything you say to him, it's Obama, it's Biden, it's this person, it's that person. It's never him. That's a narcissist. That's someone who is insane. You ever hear the saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? That's Donald Trump. He is the definition of insanity. He is literally doing the same thing he was doing in 2011, but worse. This time he has no filter because he's suffering from dementia and any uh, any other disease they're probably hiding from us right now because his health is fading each and every day. Sat up there and talked about Joe Biden being tired in office, yet falling asleep minutes into conferences, literally just head is wobbling. Either that or he's drugged up. Either way, he is not cognitively well. And the world is seeing this. And in the type of climate that we're in right now, where our national debt is surging, what are we at, 35 trillion? Our national debt is surging through the roof. People can't pay basic things, like just trying to live basically is getting way too expensive for most people. We don't really have time for a president playing games. The last time we were able to budget our actual um deficit was way back in Clinton's administration. That was the last time we were able to level the books. And a lot of Republicans want to go back and say, "Oh, Clinton did this, did this with Monica Lewinsky." Listen, you can't compare any Democrat to what we got going on right now in the White House. You can't compare no Democrat, not Kamala Harris, not Joe Biden, not Obama, and definitely not Bill Clinton. You can't compare no Democrats to what the hell we got going on in the White House. You got to understand that the first corruption came with Bush. That was the first level of corruption because he came right after Clinton. Clinton had balanced the books. We had a surplus in the government. Bush came into office, tax cuts. That was the first tax cuts that the corporations got. Okay? That's when we started going into the deficit. We started giving money to the corporations. He got the tax cuts, then came the war in Iraq, then came I guess everything else Bush did that year. Those 8 years he was in office. So after he left, we then got Obama. So Obama inherited Bush's economy. Okay? Obama came into a deficit. He didn't get the surplus that Bush got when he got in office. He got the deficit. And on top of that, he got a war. So you got a candidate coming in who's black, okay? He's dealing with the war in Iraq, and he's dealing with the deficit caused by the Bush administration. And what happened? Obama came in office, he handled the war, and he got the deficit down. Then we got Trump. And what happened with Trump? Tax cuts. Again, more tax cuts on top of the tax cuts that Bush had already put. Now, mind you, Obama had already started taxing corporations at 33%. When Obama was in office, he said, no, fuck that, fuck those tax cuts that Bush put in. We're going to put our tax cuts back because the reason why those taxes were in place was so that we could balance the motherfucking books. And then you gave them tax cuts and you got into a war. The Bush administration gave tax cuts and they started the war in Iraq. Those were two big, huge explosions in our pockets. We are paying that debt right now. Now look at what's happening with Trump. Trump gets into office. After Obama leaves, we get COVID, okay? Out of, again, negligence. Negligence. He could have literally told, hey, listen, we're going to lock down such and such, make sure that this stuff doesn't spread in America. Let me let the American people know to wear masks while we are researching what's going on so that they can protect themselves. Let us make sure that everybody's safe and that these companies don't have to shut down. Like, instead of being a leader in the moment and showing us what you could do for the people and make sure that our country is safe, you double down on not saying anything. You double down on not saying nothing. So when it starts to spread, then you say I knew about it. I just didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to start a commotion. You didn't want to start a commotion. What are you talking about? 100,000 people are dead simply because you decided not to open up your goddamn mouth on exclusive information that was due to the public. And then when people start battling it, you start penalizing the World Health Organization. You start telling people that they don't have to wear a mask. You start telling people they don't need a vaccine. And you just start spreading a bunch of misinformation because you fucked up. You created a disaster and then spread misinformation. So people start becoming anti-mask. People start rebelling against the natural order of things. We've been getting shots for years. We've been getting vaccines for years. Now, all of a sudden, unknown virus starts to spread throughout the community, and someone mentions a vaccine, and all of a sudden, vaccines turn into the devil because the president controls the narrative. And He has no idea what his words does to the world, to United States. You have one of the biggest platforms in the entire world, and you're using your time and you're using your influence to sit up here and spread hate, to sit up here and spread misinformation, to sit up here and cause division. This is what you're choosing to do with your presidency. You're not lifting people up. You're not adding to any deficits. If anything, you are exploding the deficit with your decisions, your careless decisions. And then America has a nerve to just look past people's felonies as if they don't even fucking matter. But if it's a blackface, y'all can sit up here and call Obama a criminal all day with no proof. But y'all got all the proof in the world that Trump is a criminal, and y'all just ignore it. I don't get that type of thinking. It makes absolutely no goddamn sense to me. The party of law and order breaks law and order. So we have to do everything in our might to make sure we're fighting back. If you guys have not subscribed, please do so. If you guys want to support me monetarily, I would appreciate it, obviously. But I did drop the article today, guys. Make sure you go read it, share it with everybody who has not voted yet. We have to vote by June 2nd. Okay. I got my ballot. I'm going to be casting mine this week. So we have to get a Democrat in here that cares about this city. We need California to come back. And we need to get this lunatic out of office so that we can get our country back. Because right now, America, we're not getting any tourism. We're not getting anything that is benefiting it. We're not even getting oil. They're talking about that. They're talking about America has about, I know, baby, I know. All right. Then I'm sorry, y'all, if this is breaking up. But yeah, so we gotta make sure that we on top of everything. So I appreciate everybody joining me on the live today. Um, if you guys have any suggestions, those of you that are part of the chat, just drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. Like I said, I'll look into the whole Georgia situation for you, and we're gonna keep fighting the good fight. All right, BFM fam. I love you guys. Take care and stay informed, y'all.